Well, hello. It's Cathy Feenan again, and it's so great to be in this space with you. Today, I am really excited because today is a day that we clear all of the negative emotions that are sitting there, perhaps weighing you down heavily. Holding on to negative emotions can have a detrimental impact on our success. When we cling to anger or resentment or fear, we create a heavy burden that weighs us down mentally, emotionally, and even physically. These negative emotions consume our energy, cloud our judgment and our thinking, and they prevent us from making clear, rational decisions. They really keep us trapped in a cycle of self-sabotage. And you may have noticed some of those behaviors, hindering our ability to take risks and seize opportunities. But by letting go of negative emotions, we free ourselves to move forward with clarity, power, positivity, purpose, resilience, and most important of all, peace of mind. Practicing gratitude and cultivating a positive mindset empowers us to overcome obstacles and unlock our true potential for success. So today, I'm going to be guiding you through a process to clear the negative emotions that are weighing you down. I'd love for you to ensure that you're in a comfortable space where you can close your eyes and not be disturbed by other people or pets, and have your pen and journal ready for your learning. So let's commence this clearing journey so you can truly create the business and the life that you want. So what is the unconscious mind? The unconscious mind, what it actually does is the prime directives of the unconscious mind, as you can see here in this diagram. It is the lowest part of our mind. So it's this subconscious part of our mind. It's the prime directives of the unconscious mind. Number one, it preserves the body. It's like a servant, so it likes to follow orders. It's also a very highly moral being. It stores memories, it's symbolic, and it doesn't process negative. So basically, our unconscious mind saves you. The easiest way to explain this is by looking at the diagram on your screen. If you have a look at the top part of the circle, we have a C for conscious mind, and in the bottom, we have UC for unconscious mind. Your conscious mind at the top is like the boss of a big company, and it can order the unconscious around. And as I mentioned when we were clearing out our limiting beliefs in our earlier process in this module, if the unconscious doesn't want to do it, it just won't allow it to do it. Like someone who smokes is the example that I use all the time. They know consciously that it's not good for them and it stinks and it's expensive, but no matter what they do, they end up going for that cigarette. Their unconscious mind will win the silent battle because, well, we always smoke or we always vape. It relaxes me. It's me time. Until you work with the issue unconsciously and let the mind know that it's safe to let go of this, it will take so much longer to release the problem. When people are shy or playing small in life, it's usually because of their childhood. So let me explain this a little bit further. As a baby, we are born with very basic emotions. We're not born judging others or with guilt and shame, anxiety and depression. There's no depression or anxiety gene. We learn this and mimic our parents or those who we're closest to. We're not born downing ourselves. We're born with pure love and wonder and complete trust. But then our unconscious mind, remember, it keeps us safe, will go into survival mode. And that's the job of the unconscious that holds all of our memories and lessons, and it keeps us safe. Imagine this: a beautiful baby girl is born, full of giggles, love, and wonder. And this little girl grows into a very naturally energetic toddler with lots of things to say. And then she starts to be told, shh. She might even get a smack on her bottom or on her hand for talking too loud or being in her freeze state. Her unconscious mind will put her into protection mode to quieten her down. And when that child gets older, she may be labeled shy and be called that. But when this young girl turns into a young woman and's needing to get a job or build her business or to meet a mate or make some friends, she finds it really hard, no matter how conscious she is of wanting to get over being shy. Her unconscious will just not let her until it's safe to do so. So the process that we're doing today is a powerful method for creating instant change. It works with the unconscious mind in a variety of ways, including healing emotional traumas, eradicating unwanted thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Behavioral change in an individual takes place at an unconscious level. It allows you to work at the unconscious level and release the effects of past negative experiences and change inappropriate programming in minutes rather than days and months and years. Isn't that exciting that you have this in your hands today? So we're going to go together on a journey in your mind, kind of like watching a movie with your imagination and being invested in it. But before we do so, let's have a look at the diagram on your screen. As you can see in your conscious mind, this is the awareness. This is what we already know. This is facts, knowledge, and awareness. And it's responsible, the conscious mind is responsible for 5% for creating the physical reality that you are experiencing right now. The unconscious mind, however, is in our blind spot. We don't actually see that. That's why it's unconscious. It's a scotoma. And so this is the unconscious mind is 95% responsible for creating the physical reality that you are experiencing right now. And the unconscious mind was formed in the first 7 years of your life. And this has our beliefs, our values, our morals, our memories, and of course, our emotions. So those emotions then create the thoughts, which creates the actions, which then creates the behaviors, thus giving you a result. So let's have a look at this next diagram. You would have seen this before when we were clearing out the limiting beliefs. And this is what we call a vicious cycle. So over on the left-hand side, we have low vibration emotions or limiting beliefs. And as you can see, we have the frequency hertz of what each of these emotions are measured at. So we have shame sitting here at 20 hertz. We have guilt at 30 hertz, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, okay? And so what they do is they're sitting on a cellular level in our body from past experience. And so what we want to do is we want to really remove those low vibration energy emotions to give you clarity, to move into the space of courage and neutrality and willingness, acceptance. You can see that these are vibrating at a much higher vibration. Reason, love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. And so what we're basically doing here is we're raising your vibration. And when we sit in that higher vibration of love and joy and peace, via the law of attraction, like attracts like, you then create the abundance. And it's almost like what we're doing with our processes. If you can imagine source or God or the source of life being right there, okay? We could even call it heaven, okay? Whatever it is that you need to label that. But it's the source of love and abundance. And so if you can imagine all of these pipes that are connecting that source of life and the source of all to us, and there's all of these pipes, but all of those pipes are kinked. I kind of say, and I have a little bit of fun with this, but we're a little bit kinky, right? Which means that there's low vibration emotions that are kinking one of the hoses of flow, of abundance to you. There's the low vibration of the limiting beliefs. Maybe it's confidence and self-belief. Maybe it's doubt, right? Maybe it's the lack of belief in yourself, okay, that is actually causing the blockage of the flow to you. We spoke earlier in our clear limiting beliefs module about being disempowered and stuck as opposed to being empowered and in flow. And that's certainly what you're going to be experiencing is flow as we unblock each of those pipes. So you allow that flow of abundance to come to you, that flow of love, the flow of peace, of joy, of abundance, of money, of finances, as you step into the fullness of who you are and bring your purpose and your passion and your gifts to the world with your time, your treasure, and your talents. So, what happens is that when we have these low vibration emotions sitting there at a deeper level, they cause our thoughts. And those thoughts cause our behaviors. And those behaviors, quite often, when the low emotion is sitting there, it causes self-sabotaging behavior. And a self-sabotaging behavior looks like procrastination or doubt or distraction, right? You know consciously that I need to take action and create the business and the life that I love. But there's this resistance. There's just something that's holding us back. And we quite often don't know why we have this resistance to actually take action and move forward. It's because of what's happening on a deeper level. So we experience perfectionism, we experience people pleasing, we experience procrastination. Maybe you're doing the work, but you're not actually receiving the results that you actually want. And so all of those symptoms, all of those behavioral self-sabotaging behaviors are really symptoms of what's going on a deeper level. So if you are aware of some of those symptoms, then we know that you've got some emotions and some limiting beliefs that are sitting there. Once we clear those out, we then turn it into a positive. You then experience clarity in your mind. You actually have a free mind and a peace of mind to step into the creative space. Your thoughts then create your behaviors, which are positive behaviors, like taking action on your business, making an impact in the world with our mission, so you can receive that abundance for your being a servant leader. And then those behaviors then create the result that we do want. See, we're always manifesting. We're always manifesting, but a lot of the times the unconscious mind is responsible for creating, remember, 95% of the results that you're seeing in your physical reality. So today I'm really excited. This is one of the biggest processes that we're going to do that's going to clear out those negative emotions within minutes rather than days and weeks of years of personal development. And it works with the 5 dimensions of the human being, which is the conscious mind, the unconscious mind. It works on a physical and cellular energy level as well. We work with energy and it works with soul and spirit as well. So let's move into our processing of negative emotions. If you're multitasking right now, or if you are putting the washing out on the line, or if you're driving your car, if you're with your children or you're with your family, now is the time to press stop and continue doing what it is that you're doing if you can't do this process, because you are going to be closing your eyes. If you're ready to continue and you're not being disturbed by people or pets, and you have a safe space to close your eyes and make some notes, please continue on with this process with us. So when you are ready, just starting by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And if you haven't yet, you can close your eyes. Just closing your eyes down gently and feeling the support of the chair underneath you. It's what it feels like. What part of your body is in contact with the chair or the bed? Or wherever you are, just really paying attention to which parts of your body are in contact with it and how that support feels. Just breathing in through the nose. And every time you breathe in through your nose, I just want you to imagine the oxygen traveling through your body. Maybe it has a color, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just a sensation. Imagining the oxygen traveling to every cell of your body. Particularly if there's areas of your body that need more oxygen, maybe if there's pain, maybe if there's illness, injury, and continuing your breath cycle. And now I want you to bring your awareness to your out breath, breathing out through the mouth. And I want you to feel the subtle temperature of that. It might feel warm. And I just want you to imagine the exchange of that breath, almost like the in-breath is coming into your body, like a street sweeper, sweeping and cleaning out any debris, any inflammation, any tension. And then the out-breath is the breath that it all gets purged. It all gets released. And as you're feeling more relaxed, I just want you to imagine a beautiful ray of calming light, whatever color it is perfect for you. Imagine that beautiful ray of calming light that's shining through the top of your head, and filling the back of your eyes, calming and filling and continuing down to the back of your nose, filling your ears, mouth, down to the front of the throat, soothing and calming. Now feeling the shoulders can hold so much tension, and now feel that just drop away. And feel that calming light fill your shoulders with calm and safety and relaxation. Now feel that soothing, calming light fill your chest, tummy, hips, tops of the thighs. Just listening to my voice and feeling so relaxed now. And feel that relaxing light flowing into your shins, tops of your ankles, tops of your feet, and reaching right to the end of your toes. That's right, feeling relaxed and comfortable. And now feel that light fill up under your feet to your heels, back of your ankles to your calves. Feeling even more relaxed now and feeling safe with the sound of my voice. The light now fills the back of the knees to the back of the thighs and now all the way to the spine, and spilling out to relax all the muscles and any tension held in the back now releasing. And feel that calming, relaxing light filling the back of the neck now and all through the head. I'm going to speak really fast now, and your unconscious will go as fast as I tell it to. And if you can keep up, that's great. And if you can't, that's totally fine, because your unconscious will be keeping up anyway. I want you to imagine that in front of you is a big business building with a huge front door, and whatever you see, and whatever you don't, you don't. It's just right for you. But just imagine walking up 3 steps to that front door and opening it with ease. Now imagine a plain and dull, long hallway in front of you, and imagine walking up this hallway towards a big brown door with the words Life Records on it. Imagine pushing this door with ease, ready to release all of those negative emotions. Now imagine a room full of filing cabinets, and I want you to search for your filing cabinet. It will have your name on it, and just nod your head when you can see it. Awesome. So just pay attention to the drawers of that filing cabinet. It's really important that you know how to open it. So some drawers have like handle knobs that you grab onto and pull out, and other drawers might have the long skinny handles that you slot your fingers under and pull it out that way. Whatever way your drawer opens up, I want you to go ahead now and open the top drawer of that filing cabinet and take out the folder called Anger and Frustration, and I just want you to pay attention to what color it is. It is. And thinking about it, is it thick, heavy, messy? Is it thin, super organized? And I want you to feel into your body without opening that folder. And I want you to feel in your body on a scale of 10, holding on to that folder, with 10 being the worst and 1 hardly being any issue at all, or even 0, there is nothing. I just want you to rate out of 10 the impact of that folder. And just hold that rating in your mind. And on the other side of that room, there is a huge industrial shredder. And next to it is a raging hot furnace. And soon you're going to dispose of that folder. You can either just shred it into pieces, or you could just throw it straight into the fire. But before we do that, I'm going to ask your unconscious mind if it's ready to safely release all of that old anger and frustration in that folder that's no longer serving you and holding you back. And when that's a yes, what is the biggest positive lesson that you can learn by releasing that old negative emotion? Knowing that we can never go back and change the things that happened to us in the past, But what we can do is release the emotion attached to it. We can take the learning and release the emotion. So what is the learning that we can apply to the future? To be free of that emotion in similar circumstances. Just allowing that to now flow into your mind. I want you to now just pick up your pen and I just want you to start writing. What are you free to have now without that old emotion? How are your relationships different? How do you handle conflict, whether it's in the home, in the workplace, your children? And then finish this sentence. Just think of the first word that comes to your mind. By releasing this old anger and frustration, I now choose to be. By releasing this old anger and frustration, I now choose to feel. By releasing this old anger and frustration, my future is now. And what is the one overarching learning, that one big piece of wisdom or revelation that you can take from releasing all of that old anger and frustration forever? What does your unconscious need to know to let it go now? And when you are ready, you can put your pen down and close your eyes again. It's now time to destroy that folder, so you can take it over and either throw it into the fire or shred it into pieces, or you can destroy it in any other way that comes to mind. Maybe you want to strap a grenade to it and throw it off a cliff. But it's now time to release that old folder and just feel the release in your body as you watch it burn, or as you watch it dissolve, or as you watch it leave. And on your right-hand side, there's a beautiful wooden table there with a beautiful pile of colored folders. And I want you to find the most perfect folder to replace that old negative emotion. And I want you to pick up your pen and write down what color that folder is, and I want you to name it. What are you going to name that folder that you're going to start collecting instead? And once you've got the color and the name of that folder, I want you to close your eyes, take that new folder and put it in the top drawer of your filing cabinet. And you can now close the drawer and take a huge sigh of relief. Good. Now I want you to turn around, open that top drawer of the filing cabinet again, and this time take out the folder called sadness or grief or depression and pay attention to what color that is. Notice, is it thick, heavy, messy? Is it thin, super organized? And giving it a rating out of 10, just in your mind, and just like we did with our previous folder. Soon we're going to destroy this one too, but before we do, get permission from your unconscious mind that it is now safe to release all of this old sadness, grief, and depression that's no longer serving you. It's only been holding you back. And then pick up your pen and I want you to write the biggest positive lessons that you can learn by releasing that old emotion. What wisdom can you take from releasing that old emotion into your future? What are you free to have now? How will life be different now that you've chosen to release this? What will you be doing that you weren't able to do before? How will conversations be different? Relationships, energy levels, health, food. And finish this sentence just writing down the very first word. By releasing this old sadness, grief, and depression, I now choose to be. By releasing this old sadness, grief, and depression, I now choose to feel. By releasing this old sadness, grief, and depression, my future is now. And what is the one big learning your unconscious needs to know in order for you to release that old sadness, grief, and depression forever? As if you were giving yourself the best piece of advice based on what you now know to be true, so that you can be free of these emotions from the past. Knowing that as a human, you have full access to the entire spectrum of human emotions, that now from releasing this old negative emotion, it gets to be clean fresh emotion that we just feel in response to the things that are happening. We don't have to bring the old emotions into new scenarios or new situations. We can simply respond based on the information in front of us. And when you're ready, closing your eyes and taking that old folder now and destroying it in whatever way feels best for you. And as it's being destroyed, just really, really connecting with what it feels like in your body for that to release. And you may feel emotion come up, particularly with this folder. It may be a big release of emotion. Whatever comes up is perfect for you. And just feeling the lightness, the freedom, and once again on your right-hand side with that beautiful wooden table with a pile of beautiful coloured folders on it, find yourself the most perfect folder to replace that old negative emotion. I want you to pick up your pen and write down the colour of your new folder and what you're going to call this new folder to replace that old negative emotion. What are you going to start to collect instead now? And when you've got that colour and the name of the folder written down, I want you to take that beautiful new folder, knowing that it's safe to accept that into your life. Take it over to your filing cabinet and place it behind the first folder, the one you just put in there. And you can close that drawer, put your back against it, and take a huge sigh of relief. You're doing so well. This time, turn around, open up the drawer, and take out the folder named Fear and Anxiety. Notice what colour this one is. Notice just what it looks like. Is it thin, thick, heavy, messy, organised? And giving this one a rating out of 10, and now just asking your unconscious mind, is it ready to release all of this fear and anxiety that's been holding you back? Fear of what other people think. Fear of letting other people down, fear of not being good enough, fear of being rejected, fear of being judged, fear of not belonging, fear of succeeding and losing it all, fear of abandonment. All of these lead fears that have stopped you and kept you small. It's now time to release them and step into your true self. But before we destroy this folder, I just want you to pick up your pen and start writing. What is the greatest lesson that you can learn by releasing all these old fears now? What does your unconscious need to know that it's safe to be you? It's safe to let go of all those old fears. What is the wisdom coming out of that folder? And by releasing all of those old fears and old anxieties, what are you free to do now? What actions are you free to take now that wasn't safe before? Where is it safe to go now? What conversations are you free to have now? And why is it safe to have those conversations? Why is it safe to do those things or go those places? And really feel the relief in your body. Finish this sentence for me by releasing this old fear and anxiety, I now choose to be. By releasing this old fear and anxiety, I now choose to feel. By releasing this old fear and anxiety, my future is now. And what is the one big learning your unconscious needs to know in order for you to release that old fear and anxiety forever? What is that one big piece of wisdom that when you take that into your future with you, you're able to step into the fullness of who you are and what you're capable of? And once you've got that down, and when you're ready, closing your eyes and taking that old folder now and destroying it in whatever way feels good for you, feeling how freeing and liberating it is to be able to move forward, to take action free from those old fears and anxieties that were just holding you back. They weren't serving you anymore. They weren't protecting you from any real threat anymore. It feels so freeing. And then on the right-hand side, there's a beautiful wooden table again with your pile of beautiful colored folders on it. Find yourself the most perfect folder to replace that old negative emotion. And once you've got it, I want you to pick up your pen and write down the color and give that folder a name. What are you going to call this new folder now? Maybe it's something you're free to have, free to feel, free to be, free to do. Whatever it is, knowing it's now safe to accept that into your life. And you can close your eyes and take that beautiful new folder and put it behind your other two folders in that filing cabinet. It's already starting to look and feel so different in there. Closing that drawer, putting your back against it and taking a huge sigh of relief. Good. You're doing really well. Turning around again, opening the drawer, and this time taking out the hurt folder. Noticing the color, noticing how it looks or feels. Is it thick, thin, heavy, messy, light, super neat, and giving it a number out of 10. Once again, we're going to destroy this folder soon, but before we do, I want you to get full permission from your unconscious mind that it is now safe to release this old hurt that is no longer serving you. And pick up your pen and start writing. What is the biggest positive lesson that you can learn by releasing this old negative emotion? What have you got to gain by releasing all of the old hurt that you may have held on to? It might have been related to family. It might have been related to incidents or at work or in your business. It might have been related to times when you're at school and someone might have been mean. All of those old situations where there was hurt. What does your unconscious need to know to be able to release all of the hurt that was felt, knowing that we can't go back and change what has happened? We have the power to choose whether we continue to carry the weight of the hurt. What did we learn from those situations? Is it how strong we are? Maybe that it's okay to set boundaries. Finish this sentence for me. By releasing this old hurt, I now choose to be. By releasing this old hurt, I now choose to feel. By releasing this old hurt, my future is now. And what is the one big learning your unconscious needs to know in order for you to release that old hurt forever, to cut the cord, to free yourself? And once you're done there, you can take that hurt folder and you can go and destroy it. And as it's being destroyed, just literally feeling the old emotion disintegrating from your body. And on your right-hand side, there's a beautiful wooden table with a pile of beautiful colored folders on it. And finding the most beautiful folder to replace that old negative emotion, noticing what color it is and picking up your pen and giving that folder a name. What are you going to call that new folder now? Knowing that it's now safe to accept that into your life. Taking your new folder over to your filing cabinet, place it behind your other ones, close the drawer, take a huge sigh of relief. Good. And opening that drawer again, and this time taking out the folder called guilt and regret. Paying attention to what color the folder is. Is it messy? Is it super neat and organized? Is it thick, heavy? Is it thin? And giving it a rating out of 10, how much of an impact has guilt and regret had? Just like we did with all of the other folders, and in a moment, we're going to dispose of this one too. But first, I want you to get permission from your unconscious mind that it's safe to release all of this old guilt and regret that you've held on to for so long. It's been holding you back, weighing you down, keeping you stuck. And now I want you to pick up your pen and write down the biggest positive lessons You can learn by releasing that old guilt and regret. What are all of the reasons that it's safe to let it go now? What have you got to gain by letting go of old guilt and regret forever? What did you learn from those experiences? How has it helped you in some way? And finish this sentence for me. By releasing this old guilt and regret, I now choose to be. By releasing this old guilt and regret, I now choose to feel. By releasing this old guilt and regret, my future is now. And what is the one big learning that your unconscious needs to know in order for you to release all of that old guilt and regret forever? And once you're done with that, you can close your eyes and go and destroy the folder, knowing that as it dissolves, so too it dissolves from your energetic body, your nervous system, and you're cutting those cords completely free. Then on your right-hand side, there's that beautiful wooden table again with those beautiful colored folders on it. Find yourself the most perfect folder to replace that old negative emotion, paying attention to what color it is, and now picking up your pen and adding down the color of that new folder and what you're calling it now. What are you going to start collecting in your life instead now? And once you've written that down, you can take your beautiful new folder, knowing that it's now safe to accept that into your life and putting it in your filing cabinet. You can close the drawer, put your back against it, and take a huge sigh of relief. Good. And for the very last time today, I want you to turn around, open that filing cabinet, and take out the folder named Shame and Embarrassment, the big one underneath all of those feelings of not being good enough. I want you to pay attention to what color it is. And then describing that folder, is it thick, heavy, messy? Is it super organized, thin, light? Giving it a rating out of 10, how much of an impact has it had? And soon we're going to destroy this folder too, but before we do, asking permission from your unconscious mind to safely release all of that old shame and embarrassment and that not good enoughness that's been stored there. That's no longer serving you based on lies. It's been holding you back. And when you're ready, picking up your pen and starting to write what is the biggest lessons that you can learn by releasing all of that old shame or embarrassment, all of the feelings of not being good enough or falling short, of not being enough. What is the truth? What are you free to do now by releasing all of that shame and embarrassment? How are you free to feel while you're doing it? What will you wear? Where will you go? Who with? How will your social situations be different? How will your business be different, or professional situations? How will your relationship change with mistakes or perfectionism? What does your unconscious need to know in order to feel safe with being human, making mistakes, being imperfect? Finish this sentence for me. By releasing this old shame and embarrassment, I now choose to be. By releasing this old shame and embarrassment, I now choose to feel. By releasing this old shame and embarrassment, my future is now. And what is the one big overarching learning that you can take from releasing all of that old shame and embarrassment forever? That one piece of wisdom or advice that can set you free. And once you've got that, you can close your eyes take your folder and go and destroy it, and feeling how good that feels to be free. And once again, on your right-hand side, there's that beautiful wooden table with a pile of beautiful colored folders on it. Find yourself the most perfect folder to replace that old negative emotion. Pay attention to what color it is and pick up your pen and write down the color and the name of that new folder. What are you choosing to have instead now? Now that you know it's safe to accept that into your life, and take that beautiful new folder over to your filing cabinet, put it in there and just marvel at how good it looks in there now. It looks vibrant and full of life and it feels so good. And I just want you to close that drawer, take a nice big deep breath in through the nose and a huge sigh of relief. You have done so well today, my friend. Now I want you to head towards the hall, to the doorway when you first came in. And as you open the door to the hallway, just notice that that once stale hallway is now lit up with all those beautiful colors, all of those colors all over the walls and flashing lights. And it looks like a disco in there and full of energy. And just imagine yourself skipping and running and dancing and spinning. Gosh, you could be cartwheeling and backflipping towards that front door because your mind can do anything. And when you reach that front door, you notice that it's now changed the door of your own home. And as you step through that threshold, you can literally feel how positive things are now, how proactive, how assertive, and how just awesome and connected and present you can experience life now. With all of these new positive learnings that you've now discovered the truth of who you are and how you can feel, and just allow yourself to enjoy those beautiful feelings for another moment or two. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. But I want you to go straight to your learnings that you've written down. And I'm just going to give you a moment to read them out aloud to yourself. And if you want to, place your hand on your heart, over your chest, and just read them in a really gentle, nurturing voice, like you're reading your own self a beautiful bedtime story. And once you've read them, you can close your eyes for just another minute and just breathe that in. Breathe in the energy of everything you've written down. Just allowing it to integrate now. Receiving it with love. Letting it land as truth in your mind, in your body, and in your spirit. Imagining how different your family would be, or your workplace would be, or your business would be, or the whole world would be if you were able to inspire others through your authenticity and showing up as that truth. And taking in a nice big deep breath and out. Then you can open your eyes and come back into the room. And a big stretch. Oh, it takes me some coming back to. So how are you feeling? And what were the biggest themes that came up for you? Or the biggest things that really landed? Take a moment to think about that. Were there any huge revelations of wisdom from your learnings that will really support you in that release? What were you free to have without that now? And now as this will all start to unfold, because this will integrate, and it won't be until we're reflecting, because the most important thing after this today is reality testing. So reality testing is where you've got all of those new learnings. And as you go into the real world and you go into, I don't know, maybe the dining room at dinner time and the kids are going crazy. And in the past you were like, oh my gosh, old me would have been me feeling like, eh. And I'm like, totally fine. Like, oh my gosh, I'm okay with this and I have peace of mind. That's a reality testing. What did your unconscious need to know for you to release those big ones? And the interesting thing is that because of the way of the syntax of this is that without that old emotion, I'm now free to be. I'm free to feel my future is now. And the new folder name, what that says is that holding on to that was costing you those things because you weren't free to have them because you were choosing to hold on to the old stuff. And so by releasing it, you're free to have now. And so as we then move through life, as we are free to have this new stuff, we're like, life is absolutely awesome. And your nervous system goes, no, you know what? You don't need to hold on to any of it. Yeah, you know that person was so mean to me, but I don't need to carry it. I don't need to wish bad things for that person. I can just go, whatever. Right? Did you know that it only takes 90 seconds biochemically? It takes 90 seconds to process an emotion. Anything that we feel beyond that, what we feel is all stored in the body. How phenomenal is that? So I'm really curious about the fear and anxiety one. What was your experience with that one? So quite often in these processes, we'll fall asleep in the ones that we unconsciously don't want to look at. However, in saying that, even when we're sleeping, our unconscious mind will take on information. The nervous system is still turned on and receive what's happening. So many people think that just because their kids are asleep, that they can have these intense energetic conversations, but their kid's nervous system is still receiving it. So you're still there while sleeping, you just don't remember being there. And I cannot wait to see what comes of it for you. Until next time, remember, I'm safe and I'm ready for the next step. Take care, God bless, and bye for now.